Carla Hinton, reporting for the Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. I have with me the Reverend Thomas Harrison in the studio today. He is the one and only secret church shopper. He contracts with pastors to visit their churches as an anonymous visitor to critique the ministry services. Reverend Harrison, thanks for coming in today for this interview.
Oh, you're welcome, Carla. It's always great to be with you.
Okay. Well, can you share with us how you became the secret church shopper?
Well, you know, it's an interesting journey in life. I read a wonderful book written by Dr. Stan Toller and Dr. Alan Nelson called The 5-Star Church. And really, the 5-Star Church totally revolutionized my life.
Okay.
It talked about all of the elements of customer service or quality and excellence that we should enable and execute in our local church.
Okay.
And so we read that, and I worked through that, and I just never thought about the concept of quality and excellence being in the church as a standard. Dr. Toller, who wrote the book, actually has his church, secret church shopped once every quarter.
Wow.
Where he has someone come in anonymously behind the scenes to visit a service, to be in a Sunday school class, to do a fellowship group or whatever, and then sends a report. So Dr. Toller and I were working together on some projects, and one day he said, well, why don't you come shop my church? I said, oh, I'd be delighted to. So I did. Over 2 Sundays, took someone with me for each time. A report, probably about 60 pages are in that neighborhood, gave it to Dr. Toller, held my breath, was waiting for him to criticize me or whatever. He calls me on the phone. He says, Thomas, this is the best report I've ever received. Photographs, insight, all of this kind of thing. Would you be interested in doing this on a full-time basis or more regular basis? So I said, sure. So his referrals, and I had some other referrals. Okay. So I developed a checklist and a system where I go in and assist churches being a secret undercover church shopper.
Okay. I love that name, secret church shopper.
That's Dr. Toller's name for it.
Okay. Well, what kinds of things do you look for when you visit a church undercover?
Well, you know, I look for the things that any of us would look for in a good hotel or a good restaurant or a retail store that we might go to. I look for cleanliness. Are the facilities, meaning the restroom facilities, kitchen facilities, whatever I might see, are those good? You know, most people will visit your restroom and nursery before they ever come to see your sanctuary or Sunday school class. So usually check out the restrooms, that kind of thing. Do they look fresh, modern? Are they easily located? It was in one church as a secret church shopper, couldn't find the restroom, had to be directed there, meaning led by someone to take me to the restroom because I couldn't find it.
Okay.
So I look for that. We look for how fresh the paint is, the facilities on the outside. And this doesn't always have to do with money, Carla, because some churches, you know, they're on a tight budget with the economy, the way things are going now. It's not about the budget. It's about what God has given you and how you take care of it.
Okay. Well, how does this kind of assessment help the churches you visit?
Well, it's a diagnostic tool. It's a snapshot of the church as I see it at one particular point in time. It is not an ultimatum. It's not an absolute reference. It's my interpretation of what I see on one Sunday. The church uses this report as a diagnostic tool to help the pastor and the board and the other staff bring their church to another level of quality and excellence, and ultimately ministry not only to the body that's assembled there, but to the community that may come.
Okay. Now I'm curious about this. I mean, would my church get an A or a D? How do you rate the churches?
We don't give grades like that, and they're not marked in red circles and as we had them in school as we were growing up. Essentially, there are 3 criteria for that. There would be a green light. Everybody loves green lights. When we're traveling in traffic and we have to be somewhere, we want green lights, as many as we can. Green lights are good. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Find a way to improve it if you can. Yellow lights. Well, if we can't have a green light, we like to have a yellow light. Even though we're not supposed to, we'll kind of run the yellow light to get through that before it turns red. Well, the yellow light tells us something is about to happen here. If we don't take care of this, it will turn to red. Red light, whoa, something major wrong is happening here, needs to be addressed immediately. There was one church found poison sumac growing, cultivated in the flower bed of the church as people enter from the parking lot to the main building. That's a red. Hello. Matter of fact, I called that pastor as soon as I got in the car and said, you have a double red light. You have poison sumac growing in your flower bed. You need to take care of it immediately.
That's a sure way to make people run.
Right.
Well, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Now, what are the most common concerns that you find on your secret church shopping expedition?
Well, friendliness is a big issue,
Okay.
and it's a whole section of the report. And we look at friendliness, and that's not just someone, hi, my name is Thomas, welcome to First Church of our town. Friendliness has to do with what Dr. Toller calls the I'm going there, let me take you there attitude. If, for instance, at one particular church where I was and couldn't find the restroom, a woman took me to the men's room and showed me where it was. Some people would say, oh, the restroom is over that way, and point or gesture. Dr. Toller says, no, you say, I'm going that way, let me take you. Whether they're going that way or not, they're doing the extra mile sort of thing.
Okay.
So we look at friendliness in the ushers, the greeters, even the personnel of the church, whether they be volunteer or staff members. We look at friendliness. Number one issue, we look at friendliness, how people react. Are they ready for the guests that God may send to them?
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. I know a lot of people are really going to be interested in this because it's going to make them think.
I hope so.
It's going to think about their own worship services and their own congregations. What is the most surprising thing that has happened to you on your secret church shopping?
Well, I've had several surprising things, and many of my pastor friends will call me later and say, what did you like about our church or whatever? And I said, well, wait till you get the report. One of the things I was at, in addition to having to be led to the restroom at this one particular church, I was at a church, and it was in the middle of service, and someone leaned over and says, are you new here? I said, yes, I am. This is my first time. And they said, well, we're glad you're here, but we're sorry that you came to this service. And I said, well, I'm sorry, why would that be? He said, our pastor is preaching this service.
Okay. Well, that was wonderful.
I nearly had a coronary, as they say. I had another situation where I had someone with me, and this was a larger church, and so I took someone with me, and we split up, and we have a plan as far as what we do, what doors we go to. And my friend was waiting for the change to the next service. So this woman came and said, oh, excuse me, you're not doing anything. Can you come with me? We need to move some furniture on the platform area. She thought he attended there.
Oh,
so he goes and moves furniture and that kind of thing, and then while he's there, she says, are you single?
Oh, my goodness.
And so I contacted the pastor, and I said, I don't know whether she was prospecting or for her ministry. We later found out she was head of the singles ministry.
Okay.
So perhaps that was her issue there. But most of the time, the folks in the pew, most of the time are very friendly. I've also been bumped a couple of times from my pew, and then in one case, which is on the brochure there, I'm sitting in the pew during the service, and during the fellowship time, a lady behind me reaches over to shake the hand of someone in front of me, reaching literally over me as if I am in the way, never saying, excuse me, I'm sorry, you're in my way, hello, welcome, or anything. And so all of a sudden, there's a woman in front of me, and very uncomfortable for someone visiting a church. So those are some of the highlights of that. But I've also had opportunity to see some wonderful ministry and some wonderful churches, marvelous things, doing number one kinds of things, and we really like that too.
Okay. One of the things that I have to say that I've known you for a long time, pretty much in the in the reporter source world, and you're one of the most positive people. So
thank you,
the thing is that people shouldn't think that this is like a negative thing.
Oh no, and even when I talk about something that's negative, if there's a plumbing issue at one church and they had some issues there, I try to present that in a very positive light, because my goal is diagnostic, to help people. I had a reporter ask me, well, what is it exactly that you do? So I explained. I said, oh, so you just like stop in at any church and just write a critique? Like a restaurant review? Oh, no. I come at the invitation of the senior pastor, and it's a diagnostic tool to help the local body.
Okay, good. Thank you for kind of clearing that up. Just making sure that people know that.
Well, exactly. And we're not allowed to get anyone, and I don't publish these, and it's all confidentiality. So when I talk about these, I don't say I was at First Church of this city, and while I was there, you couldn't believe they had grass growing up in their parking lot or whatever. Don't do that.
Okay. Well, finally, I know that you recently received a lot of publicity, and now you're being featured in the Oklahoman. And are you wondering if you're going to remain a secret now, or?
Well, you're very kind to ask that question, and we've had that question, Carla, from a lot of different reporters and friends and pastor friends of mine. And first of all, I don't show up at church dressed like this.
Okay.
Nor do I show up in my overcoat and top hat either as my secret agent. I dress very casually. I blend into the congregation, and really my goal is I try to look at what the local community, how they attend that particular church. Sometimes it's jeans. Sometimes it's dress pants and a pullover shirt, golf shirt, something along that line. And just kind of the idea is to blend in and not to announce my presence.
Right.
So although I'm sure that my phone will be ringing more and more people will be visiting the website and all that, I don't think I have too much to worry about that. I may decide to do something different with my hair or wear dark glasses or something of that nature. So you never can tell when the secret church shopper may be coming to your church.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks again for coming today. This is Carla Hinton reporting for the Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. Read more about the secret church shopper in the October 15th Life section of the Oklahoman and the Religion and Values blog at NewsOK.com.